Hi, I'm Peggy, and we are here with Cody and Gary. And today we are having a conversation with a Ninja Warrior. So I'm very excited. Cody, how are you today?
I am doing very well, and I wanted to let you all know this is brought to you by Baker Orthotics and Prosthetics. We're here for all of your orthotic and prosthetic needs. Please give us a call today. You can give us a call at 817-332-7313. That's our main line, and we can reach anywhere in Texas through that. So,
Fantastic. So today we are talking with Gary, who is not only a self-proclaimed Ninja Warrior, but is officially a Ninja Warrior because he competed on the television show and it will air on June 27th of this month. And if you can tell, I'm a huge Ninja Warrior fan, so I'm very, very excited. I'm kind of like fan crushing from afar right now. So thank you for joining us, Gary. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So, can you tell us about your limb loss story and a little bit about your life and kind of how you got from where you were to where you are now?
Okay,
That's a
sure.
big one, I know.
Sure. Well, I'm 42 years old, married. I've got four beautiful kids, super active. They're all teenagers. They're 14, 15, 17, and 19. We are a very active family. We play lots of basketball together and we climb mountains and you name it, we do it. Volleyball, we like to go to the beach and have a lot of fun. And so, um, you know, bef- I lost my leg 3 years ago. All right. So I was 39 years old. Uh, Before that, I could literally, I'm only 5'10", but I could dunk a basketball. I could run like a deer. So my legs are very important to me. So I will say that, when I lost my leg, it was literally the worst day of my life because I count on my legs, with athletics, but more importantly, my job as a firefighter, we tend to use our legs.
Oh dear, yes.
So I'd been a firefighter for 7 years when this happened. And basically in 2016, I had a partial knee replacement and I had some complications from that. And then in 2018, I basically lost feeling to my foot. My popliteal artery was severed, and the doctor spent about 13 hours trying to restore blood flow to my foot. Um, they were unsuccessful, and so the result of that was an amputation just below my knee. So 7 years into firefighting, uh, four super active teenagers. It was very shocking to me and my family and my work family. Um, I work with 170 firefighters, and 170 firefighters came to see me in the hospital
Wow.
because they could not believe it as much as I couldn't believe it. It was this can't happen to Gary. He is way too active. He just, what is he going to do? And so that was the big question. What am I going to do? Uh, so, honestly, um, it was the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life, physically and especially mentally. I think that's where we're at in this amputee world, is that we can kind of do things physically, but and it's 99% mental, right? And that was the biggest battle, the biggest hurdle, the biggest adversity that I had to get through.
So how did you get through that?
Well, I think just like anything, you have to have goals, but you got to have a big enough reason. You got to have a big enough why, you know,
Oh, I
uh,
like that.
and you can't always um, see what you're going through, why you're going through it. You always, seem to ask yourself, why me? you know, different things like that. And you want to, you know, kind of go into this negative mindset because it's hard. Life is hard sometimes, right? And so it's hard to see past that. But for me, you know, getting to the point where I was able to accept the fact that I couldn't change it, and accepting the fact that, you know, my mindset is going to decide how this goes. You know, and so it's important to me, and my message to the world is it's important to them to know that it is a decision, and you absolutely make this choice. Nobody else can decide this for you. And so for me, it happened really early on. It doesn't always happen to everyone that fast, but basically it happened for me when I'm laying in the hospital bed, my leg freshly amputated, and my 4 kids. It's still hard for me to think about this and say this, although I've said it so many times because I do a lot of traveling and speaking to groups and kids. But I vividly remember my 4 kids standing over my bed and looking at me like I'm literally the most pathetic thing that they have ever seen in their life.
Oh, wow.
You know, and that was hard because
Yeah.
hours before this, I am literally Superman. Like, you know, like this literally turned my world completely upside down. And you know, this is a big dose of kryptonite, right? So basically, we have these defining moments in our lives, and this was one of them for sure. You know, based on how you decide in your mind which way you're going to go will determine your path, right? And so, you know, my kids looking at me like that was this defining moment in my life, and I didn't know it at the time. But when I basically decided that they would never ever look at me like that again. I didn't like the way that they were looking at me. And so once I made that decision, everything else had a direction. I decided that I was going to be the very first firefighter amputee in the world. You know, and I didn't know if that was possible, but I decided that I was going to make it possible. You know, and my kids was the reason. They were the why. And it's a big why for me. And it was like, I want to show them that they can get through hard times. And so I was going to get through this. And once I made that decision, my perspective changed, my attitude changed. Instead of being depressed and angry, which, you know, those things still came up. This isn't like one and done, you know, you guys know this is a process. But for the most part, it was, okay, this is going to be a huge challenge, a huge hurdle, but I can do it. You know, we can do it. This is a group effort, certainly not me, but doing it by myself. It's going to take my family. It's going to take my friends. It's going to take a community, you know, and so I would encourage anyone out there that doesn't have a big support system to do anything that they can to get out there in the community, serve others, help others, create that community, go to you know, as many of these support groups as you can, because this is what helps us get through those dark days that we have. And I still have some very bad days, you know, mentally and physically. I get blisters all the time, which is hard. I think that's the hardest thing, is when we are in pain, that really affects us mentally, and it's hard for us to keep moving forward and stuff when we are hurting. But you know, that's what I did. I decided I'm going to do this. I'm going to get back to being a firefighter on one leg. So
how long did that take you from when your amputation occurred to, you kind of did a spoiler, we know that you're a firefighter, so you achieved that goal. How long did that take? Tell me your timeline, and then tell me when you decided, I think I'll be a ninja warrior now.
Yeah. So, a lot of awesome things happened to me right after my amputation. People from all over the country actually reached out to me. My story kind of went all over the place. And people started reaching out saying, "Hey, you can do it, you can do it." And I really felt like the whole country was behind me. It was really cool. And so I was able to go to different organizations, and they were to help me get what I needed to get back to work. And so I did. I started to, being a firefighter, we tend to be in shape, and we tend to be confident in ourselves, and we know what we need to do, and we go do it, but we train and we prepare and all those things. So everybody's running out of a burning building, we're going in, and it's not that we're fearless, but because we've been trained. I think that's what's big. We know what to expect, and so that's what helps alleviate some of that fear. And so the same thing going through all this. It's going to take a lot of training, a lot of work, but I really felt like I could do it. And I'm happy to say that 10 months and 6 days following my amputation, I was back on the truck, full duty, no restrictions.
I will say that not much surprises me, but that shocks me. That is amazing. In less than a year, you went from a surprise amputation, right, to
Yes, ma'am.
back on the truck fighting fires. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Well, thank you. Like I said, it's certainly not me. It was a long, hard path that it took a group effort. And like I said, it was very humbling to go from, a fireman who, is fearless, to learning how to walk again. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's tough. That's tough on the old brain, that's tough on your pride. There were many mornings that I fell out of bed, because I didn't have my leg, and my brain hadn't wrapped around it yet that I don't have a leg, and I'm laying on the floor, I'm crawling to the bathroom. I'm like, I'm a firefighter. How is this happening? And so there are some big mental challenges that I had to really get over and get through. But there's no way I could do this alone. And no, I don't think anyone can, we really need a support system.
You give a lot of credit to your support system. Can you tell us about kind of your support system in terms of prosthetics, and obviously going from, a brand new learning how to use a basic prosthetic to becoming a firefighter? There must have been a lot of discussions that happened with your prosthetist and trying to get you to where you needed to be in such a short amount of time. I don't know, Cody, if you want to kind of hop on that one too, or if Gary wants to take it, but I'm curious about how you were able to work with your prosthetist in 10 short months to go from not knowing how to walk to jumping into fires.
I can speak to, how we shaped that process real quick. And then Gary, if you'll go through, just let us know how it was for you when you came into Baker. We'll always sit down with the patient and discuss their needs, their desires, their goals, their activities prior to amputation, and lay out a great plan for getting you back to where you were or getting you beyond that, if that's what you want. A lot of folks, they come in and they find out they have a new lease on life, and they decide that they're going to just do everything they didn't do before because they may or may not have had some regrets, maybe not regret, but they wish they had done more, and so on and so forth. Now with Gary's case, of course, he was already at this peak level, and we're like, well, we got to get this guy back to that level, and that's always a challenge. The thing is, Gary did come in at a very high level of health and function in his body prior to amputation, which, if you've got the chance or choice to do that, I always recommend that you take every opportunity to keep your health at peak performance if you know an amputation is coming, because you will just be better for it on the back end. So Gary, I know we shaped a plan for you. How was it? What did you think of the process here?
Yeah, well, I didn't start off with Baker. So, when I was in the hospital, I didn't know any amputees. I didn't know the process. I didn't know anything. And so I pretty much got whoever the hospital was kind of contracted with that day, they showed up and said, "Hey, I'm your prosthetist," and I was like, "Okay, what's a prosthetist?" And
Right.
so, so I didn't start with Baker. I started with this other company, and I tried another company, and then I ended up going with this nonprofit. All right, 50 Legs out of Florida. They found me, and they actually flew me to Florida. Amazing group. They got me my original fire leg. So I needed to. I had my regular walking leg, and then I needed another leg for my fire boot. And so whenever I would train, I would take my leg off, and my fire leg was already in my fire boot, and I would just kind of lock into that one and pull it up and go. That's what I did for the first few months, until because I live in Texas, and so going to Florida all the time wasn't very convenient. And so someone introduced me to Baker, and it was like, all right, this is perfect. This is what I need to do. And so these guys know what they're doing. They know what they're talking about, just like the guys in Florida. But these guys are local, and so it's kind of the same level of care, the same mindset that I had with high level firefighting, basketball, volleyball. Then it just made sense. And so I told them what my goals were, and they said, let's do it. And so they introduced me to my new leg, which is the Cheetah Explorer. And it's amazing. Now I don't have to switch legs. And so it actually slides into my fire boot. And so just like everyone else, and just like I did before, whenever I catch a fire, I just kick off my duty boots and pull up my gear and go. And it's great. It's high functioning, which is what I need. And it hasn't let me down, and Baker hasn't let me down.
And so now you're able to use this leg to train, and then you competed in it during American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah. So, the other leg that I have when I go and I speak to kids all over the country, I tell them I've got 5 legs. You've only got 2 legs. And so, I do have a couple of different legs that I use to train in. And this was literally a last second decision on which leg I was going to use, because each leg that I have, they function a little differently. They feel a little different, balance wise, weight wise. And so honestly, I didn't know which leg I was going to use until the day of my competition. And so based on what the obstacles were, was going to decide which leg I use, because, not everyone has to worry about that, but, I do. And so I ended up, using the Explorer, which was great. It's super high functioning, and I thought it was the best for what I was doing. But I train with it, I run with it, I play basketball with it. I'm on the Team USA Para Beach volleyball team. I use it on the beach. I don't know of another leg that could do better than it. I put it through a lot.
Awesome. So you're, I'm going to say, probably one of the most extremely active limb loss, limb difference people I've ever met in my life. And so you're doing so much, and at extremely high temperatures, which is important to note. This limb is holding up going into burning buildings, right?
Yeah.
But you're sweating in this thing profusely. I just know you are. What kind of gear do you keep on you to like maintain your skin health through all of these things that you're doing?
Yeah. So that was a mistake that I made early on. It's a learning curve. Checking skincare is huge. It's annoying that we have to check our limbs so often, but it's
I
part of
second
life.
that. I second that. It's annoying.
It is what it is. And the sooner we can just wrap our head around that and say, this is just life. I have to do this. Otherwise I will pay the consequences. And so that's what I do. Down here in Texas, every hour or 30 minutes, I have to check it. But I will say a product I use is Drysol, Drysol. For me, it works wonders. Like, it keeps my limb dry. I put it on. It's annoying. I put it on every night, but it keeps my limb dry. It's remarkable. So I highly recommend it.
Is it over the counter or prescription strength?
Prescription.
Okay, prescription. Okay.
Yeah. I don't get any kickbacks from it. I probably should, but I tell everybody about it.
Yeah, there are some things that are absolutely very strong. If you have any perspiration problems, anyone out there, definitely look into asking, your doctor about something like this, and definitely follow the directions. You don't really want to be putting something on the limb right before putting your leg on. It could probably cause some irritation. So just be aware of that. Yeah, I'm just really excited for your air date coming up, and I know that we've got some fun events planned, or at least an event. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You guys are throwing a big watch party for me here in Denton, and I'm excited. I don't know how many people you plan on feeding, but this thing is growing a little bit, Cody. So
we need to talk about that later. So yeah, the city of Denton has been gracious enough to donate some time at a complex there, and the firefighters will be out there to set up and clean up. And are they going to bring the truck?
Oh, I think I can arrange that.
Yeah. So the kids might like to see the truck. It'll be a watch party. Texas Roadhouse has been gracious enough to come alongside and cater. Baker Orthotics and Prosthetics and Oser Prosthetics is coming alongside with sponsoring at least a portion of the event. So yeah, if anybody's in the Denton area and would like to come out, it's June 27th. Starts at 5 o'clock and goes to 9. Show starts at 7.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm excited.
So this is not a live show. So you can't tell us. Can you give us anything, like any tidbits? We won't tell anybody, I promise.
Sorry, you cut out there. Did you say something?
I tried, Cody. I tried.
Let's see if he gives. Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to find out, I am so impressed with your attitude and just it is what it is. And the statement that you said, what's your why? I think that's huge. And to me, that's something that I tend to ask a lot of new amputees when I'm working with them. I'd like to know, as somebody who has a higher profile now and really has a platform because of Ninja Warrior and because of your work with the firefighters, what would you say to a new amputee who right now is where you were, right? Is waking up and is scared and is like, this is not the life that I had planned. What do you say to that person?
Sorry this happened, man or woman, whoever this happened to. It's not fun. Something that I always told my kids before this was that everything happens for a reason. We're a faithful family, and I've always kind of preached that to my kids. And so this happened to me, and I was about to eat my words. Like what? Of course, the first thing we want to think of is, why did this happen to me? And so, I couldn't be a hypocrite. I couldn't go back and say, I didn't feel like I could tell them that they can get through anything and everything happens for a reason. And for me to feel sorry for myself and be negative on myself. So I wanted to walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And so that was part of it. you know, it's hard to hear that when you're when it's fresh. I totally get that. But I will say the sooner that you can accept the fact that your limb is gone and it's not coming back. I mean, I water my leg like every day, and that thing still has not grown back, you know? So it's not coming back. All right. So the sooner that you can just say, okay, it's not coming back, I can accept this and I can move forward, you know. Your whole perspective will change at that point. You're like, okay, I need to make the best of this situation. And so that's what would be my advice. It's a process. I get it. We go through grieving, you know, the grieving process is, you know, anger and depression and all these things that, and it goes in a cycle, and it's not just like you get through it and it's done. Like I still have days where, you know, it's not that great. And so it's going to be a lifelong process, but the sooner you can say, okay, it is what it is. I can accept this. Okay. And move forward. I don't like to say move on, because I feel like you're leaving something behind, and that was such a big part of you, and it's such a big part of me that it's not something I just want to leave behind. You know, I know I can't take it with me, but I'm going to move forward with my new normal. And that would be something I would say to a fresh amputee is, you know, like, the sooner you accept it, the better your days are going to be, and the better your future will be.
And I heard you earlier talking about, you know, wrapping yourself up in a community of people who are going through a similar situation. I want to reach out to everybody right now and just let you know there is an online community available to you, along with do not neglect your local community at all. This is a supplement for if you're unable to get out and about, or if you want more information, deeper information. The online community is called the Whole Person Network, and it's on the Mighty Network platform. You can download the Mighty Network app on your phone, on your computer. You can log into it from a browser and find Whole Person underneath that platform, and we are there for you. It's all for the limb loss and limb difference community exclusively, so you're not going to find a lot of internet trolls, and
you won't find any internet
you
trolls.
won't find any.
We keep it very safe. Yes,
very safe space to talk to like situationed people, and find resources and things you probably didn't know existed for you, like scholarships for the disabled, meditation to relieve phantom pain. Those exercises are on there. So much more. You can find your state and find resources within your state to modify your house and your car, and you name it, it's there. And we're adding to it all the time. And you know, people are there to talk to, like Gary, and people who have gone through counseling training who can help you as well. So please do step out and pick up your phone and download that today, and we'll be there. So
I am so excited for the 27th. I can't even tell you. My little one, I used to have to DVR Ninja Warrior because my little one would like take it as motivation, and I would be trying to get him to bed, and then all of a sudden he'd be jumping around the house off couches and, you know, trying to swing off the chandelier and trying to reenact. So I can't let him watch it. But I will most definitely be watching. And thank you not only for taking time today, but I want to thank you for just putting yourself out there as an example to the entire country. I mean, somebody is going to be watching that episode who is in the hospital at that moment, feeling so overwhelmed and so lost. And they're going to turn on the TV and they're going to see you. And they're going to see you up there, win, lose, whatever. What did you say happened?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, tried. But they are. I mean, there are over 500 amputations every single day. You are going to really impact people that you will never meet. And I just want to thank you. It takes a different kind of bravery to run into fires that it does to swing and do the Ninja Warrior. But it's also another kind of bravery to really just put yourself out there and to be vulnerable and say, yes, I'm an amputee. That's part of me, but look what else I can do. And to step up and be a role model. And thank you for that.
No problem. I enjoy it. I love doing it, and I hope I can to be an example to others and to say, the world needs all of us. Okay, all of us have gifts. All of us have talents. Please just don't give up. We need you. We need you.
Absolutely.
And real quick, I just want to plug your website. Anybody who is looking to reach out to Gary he's a motivational speaker. He will come to your event and speak to your group. It is GaryWeiland.com, and it's GaryWeiland.com.
And we will link to it.
Yeah, and he's also an author. He has written, I think, 2 so far. Children's books, or 2 are out. 3. You've written 3. There's a series of 5 total coming, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes,
so again, firefighter, amputee, USA volleyball, author, motivational speaker, Gary Weiland. We love having you on here. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, and good luck.
American
thank
Ninja
you.
Warrior.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.